Hey everyone, it's Cameron. I'm back with a sales update video. This is for the month of November, about 3 weeks now late, I guess. So I'm sorry about that. Every time I think I'm under control and going to get this thing going on a pretty timely and consistent level, I always either drop the ball or something seems to come up. So I apologize for that, but we'll go into it. November, a little bit worse than October, which was disappointing. My own fault on a lot of things because I just didn't list enough. Um, I don't know if I was a little burnt out maybe, or with other things going on in Thanksgiving, my wife and my son's birthday are both in the month of November, so some things going on, and also probably a little bit of just burnout. I didn't list as much, so I still had okay sales, but not where I want to be. Let's go ahead and jump in then. Starting off the month, sold this for $38. It was returned though, so that wasn't too great. These micro cassette recorders actually do really well. The person said it worked fine, but that the button would catch sometimes. I didn't experience that. I got it back and it seems to work fine. Unless he sent me a different one, it looked like the same one. Everything kind of checked out. So I've gone ahead and relist. I've lowered the price and stated that was an issue. Hopefully we'll still sell. I only paid like I think $2 or $3, so that's still pretty good. If you do find these micro cassette recorders, obviously test them well, but they do really well. Some are only in like the $20 range, if it depending on the brand, but some of the Sony ones are better. This was a set of Ping I2 golf clubs. They're the black dot ones, not as great. They're an older club, but they have different colored dots, as you can see between the Ping there. There's a black dot. That's kind of what that means. I paid $20 for these, sold them for 90. Ended up shipping wise wasn't too bad. It was like $30, so I still walked away with 30 something dollars after those. Um, the only problem is shipping is just pretty expensive. If you have a whole set of irons, it does get a little heavy. One club's not too bad, but a whole set, you might want to look into other shipping options. I've been actually using FedEx Smart Post or home delivery and UPS for a couple of things, and it's actually been cheaper than the post office. So I've just started that the past couple months, and it's been really beneficial. Panasonic ink. It doesn't sell for a lot, and it's kind of a little bit heavier, but 14.24. I paid $1 for that. It was on sale. So this is Echo Eterna Canoe Muffin. I paid like $2 for all this at a Salvation Army. It was supposed to be like 50 cents each, and somehow she did the math and she gave me a really good deal. She only charged me $2. I ended up selling it for $25, so that was good. I bought all these books from book sale. They were 25 cents each. It was a ton of books there. Some guy had collected them. You'll see a couple in this video. These two Tom Corbett ones actually sold for $20 by themselves. Remington micro screen. I had this. I bought two of these for 75 cents. I sold one for 15. I've been lowering them slowly. Um, the funny thing is that I had it at 13.99. I had it on sale. Someone offered me, "Oh, well, you do $10," and I was like, "I don't know. Maybe I'll switch it and just take the $10, get rid of it." Like 4 hours later, boom, it sold for this price. So that was kind of cool. Throwing up glass paperbacks. I paid $1 each for these, so $4. And at a Salvation Army, ended up selling them for $23. They were a whole series together, so that was pretty good. This is a engine model kit I bought. Paid $2, sold it for 80. The guy did give me good feedback, but he said the engine is damaged. And in my listing, I said it looked damaged, and I said it appeared damaged, but he was kind of surprised by that part. So, but he did give me, it was a positive feedback, so that was good for a $2 investment. Marine Corps Hawaiian shirt, paid like $5. It sold for 35. Ended up selling to someone buying it for her dad. She said it would be a good Christmas gift, so she bought that. That was pretty cool. 40 Gators, I had paid $1 for this at a garage sale long ago. It finally sold for $18, just a pullover. Not that great, but we'll take it. A Tamagotchi here, paid $1, I think, or 50 cents. It sold for 18. This is an old thing I've had for a while. I didn't crop the picture. I thought I did, but it sold for $40. A Nike full zip tracksuit. The Nike tracksuits do well, but sometimes you have to sit on them for a little while. I sold one that was an Air One, and yeah, that one sold for like 112. Patch the Pirate. These cassettes do really well. You wouldn't think they would. They're Christian children's like learning cassettes, called Patch the Pirate. I paid 50 cents a piece for these, and then I sold them for 30 bucks within like 2 days. So pretty cool. These were rescue pets. I had paid a quarter a piece for them. They sold for 20. They're honestly not that worth picking up. I'd never pick them up again. But happy to get rid of them. I had a couple pieces of Rogers flatware left. I had sold a set of it, and then I didn't realize that I forgot to add these pieces in the listing. Somehow they got separated. So I already made all the money off it, so this was just an easy $11. Some printer ink I had bought. I paid $4 each. I ended up selling that for $33. Castlevania Bloodlines went to a garage sale, and they had nothing there that I would want, and they had this one video game sitting there. And of course, it happened to be a rare one, which is awesome. They only wanted 50 cents. I knew it was valuable. I gave them the full dollar and said, just keep it to the girl there. Sold that within a week for 45 bucks. A Lakers, Kobe Bryant, Adidas jersey. A lot of wear here on the side. This is supposed to be like a gold striping. We paid $10 for the. We paid $30 for 3 jerseys. The other 2 sold for $50 and $45, so they were more valuable. This one was kind of the leftover, and we sold it for $25. Donkey Kong Jungle Beat on the Wii. Bought a bunch of stuff for 20 bucks. This disc was in there, sold that for $9. Paid $7 for this Panasonic camcorder from Savers. It worked. It even came with the disc. That sold for $65. This was a programmer. I bought it for $5 at a garage sale. Ended up selling it for $99.99. It cost 30 something to ship it. It was super heavy, but I still did pretty well, and I got good feedback. So it did power on. I didn't know how to work it, so I put that, turned on. They said it was for repair, and the guy bought it. He said he was happy. These were 2 inks. They sold. The guy got them and told me that there was nothing left in them, but I don't believe that. But I just returned them anyways. I wasn't going to fight it. So it's like an off-brand or whatever, so I wouldn't buy those. Scrabble Deluxe, paid $5, sold it for $40. It usually costs like 15 or 20 bucks to ship one of these, so you got to keep that in mind. I think it ended up costing like 15 something for this one, so still did okay on that. Ghost Rider, $8, just a game I've picked up. Final Fantasy, just another game I had picked up for a few bucks. That's 20 bucks. Department 56, House, Christmas time. These were selling. I forgot what I paid on this, but it ended up going for 30 bucks. So that was cool. Babyface, like little outfit. It was a beat up box, but it sold for 16 bucks. I only paid $1. Some more books from that book sale, 25 cents each. These were all Pat Collins ones. They sold for $13, so that was pretty cool. 2 Nerf, what are they called? Drums for ammo. Sold those for 32 bucks. I had paid, I want to say $5 maybe for both of them, so that was pretty good. I bought these for a while ago from a lady who had a bunch of fantasy type fiction books. I think I paid 50 cents each, so $1 and got 20 for those. A DS here, I paid $3 for the DS. I threw some games I had, so let's just say $2 in those, and got 35 bucks. This particular DS doesn't do all that well. It's the first one, so it's not that great, but still can make a little money off it. Dead stock Fubu jeans. They were ugly jeans, but I had paid $15 for them, I think. They're brand new. I ended up selling them for $55, so that was pretty good. I was happy with that. Moving on, PS2. I forgot what this was a part of a lot I had bought. I had paid 20 bucks, and I had a bunch of games, and then I put a couple of games with it in the system and the memory card. Got 55, got good feedback. So, and I did ship it in the medium flat rate, the elongated one. So that was pretty good. Dimensions. Cross stitch. This sold for $12. More books from that 25-cent lot. Paid 25 cents each for these Tom Swift ones. They're from the 50s. They sold for $40. So that was awesome. Paid $1 for this Sony digital cassette thing. Sold those for $10. Forgot to crop that. $17. It was damaged. It had a stain and not holes, but a couple stains. It still sold within a day. I actually paid $5. Didn't see the stains on the back side of the arm, but it ended up selling it for still sold it for $17. Had this for a while. It's a Sesame Street Hooper store. Um, Ended up paying. I bought a bunch of figures and I sold those separately. This was just a leftover. I got $25 for it. Ended up costing like, I don't know, 13 to ship it or something. So it really wasn't. I would never resell this again unless you have all the figures that go with it. Hardy Boys. These were from that 25-cent lot. So 25 cents for each of them. Sold those for 50. And I had another leftover set that was a little bit smaller, and I sold that just now for 30, I think, in the month of December. So that was good. Adventures in Odyssey paid 50 cents each for these. Sold them for $25. Thought I'd do a little bit better, but I'll still take the 25. Skylanders. This thing was like, it was new, but it had been like open a little bit. It was kind of foggy in here a little bit. But I ended up selling it for $23. A Dooney and Burke dust bag. I had a bunch of these left over. Sold that one for $15. I bought a Lord of the Rings set. Picked it up for $1. It was not complete, so I parted it out. The money sold for $4.49. A Donald Trump signature collection tie. This one ended up selling for $18. I had paid $4 or $5. Jurassic The Hunted, paid $3, sold for $18. Pretty simple. Paid $1 for this. Somehow the lady talked me into buying it. I was buying a bunch of other stuff, so I ended up giving her $1 for that. It sold for $5. It wasn't really worth picking up. I mean, I made a little bit of money, I guess, but I wouldn't pick it up again. These were some up-tempo Nikes. Not the greatest model. I had them for a while. I had paid $5. Thought I could do a little bit better, but just wasn't able to. Ended up selling those for $25. So made some money on it. Shipped pretty close, so it was like $7 or something to ship it, but wasn't a whole lot. Value Tails, these always sell super well. Paid these up for, I want to say 50 cents each. So, and then I sold them for $22. I have just bought another set this weekend too, so those will do well. This was a vintage light set. These can do well depending on which ones you have. You got to get them up early enough. This one I paid 50 cents for. It sold for 15, so pretty cool. My favorite thing here probably that I sold this month is Avengers notebook from 75. It was yellowing inside and all that, but was still great to sell. I ended up selling it for $50 even, and I had paid $2. So it was awesome. I kind of wish that wouldn't have sold because it was pretty fun. This is an old listing. It's a King's sweatshirt. Someone had bought it for full price at 22, or it was at 19.99. Someone paid 20, bought it. It ended up coming back to me. They had the wrong address. I told them, oh, okay, well, I'll reship it out to you, but you'll have to pay the shipping. They didn't want that, so I refunded the amounts less the original shipping. And then I listed a little bit higher. I'm like, man, I want to list a little bit higher because what I had to pay for shipping for it, and it did sell for 22, so that was awesome. Some flatware here. I paid, I don't know, $10, I guess, for this part right here, and it sold for 40. It was Stanley Roberts. It was the Charles the Fourth, I guess that is, electroplate. It was not a complete set, obviously, but I knew this stuff sells well, and it sold within like 3 days for $40. So pretty cool. This is just a full zip Ralph Lauren. It had a cool print on the front. Got 25. It was a little bit worn, so I probably could have got a little bit more had it been better quality. This I had in a haul video a long time ago. I had paid $5 for it, and actually $10. And I thought, well, it came with an antenna and a cord. But when the lady was packing my stuff, I had piled it all up at a little table, and I guess she packed it, and somehow that didn't make it in. I wasn't sure why or how, but I ended up buying a replacement cord for it, not an antenna, and it ended up selling for, I couldn't get it to work. The antenna, it wouldn't actually pick up any stations. I put it on there, but it wouldn't play anything. So I ended up selling it for 35 as is with no cord, and someone bought it and said it was great. So that was cool. I made money. It ended up shipping in a priority padded flat rate. I think it was small enough. And then I used the cord for another unit and scanner that I had, so that worked out. Some games I had picked these up. They were just in a lot. When I bought the Wii, I didn't really think to make anything. These were just thrown in there. One is a Dance Dance Revolution. The other are Just Dances. Got 16. If you do have all the Just Dances, I think there's like 5 of them or maybe 6 different ones. You can make like, you know, a $30 lot if you have them all. So if you do see them for Wii's or they're only $1, it might be worth picking them up. Or if you buy a Wii that has a bunch of them, that could still be good. A Maytag refrigerator thing, paid $1.50 for this, and it sold for $29, so that was good. A Radica handheld game. These all sold on Thanksgiving, which was weird. I listed them Thanksgiving in the morning, and they all sold. This sold for $14. This also Thanksgiving, but it was a return. Lady said it went to a black. It would work, but it would go to a black screen after like 25 minutes. I didn't experience that, but I took the return back. She returned it. She didn't return the manual to me, which was kind of annoying. And one of my cords for the power didn't come back either. But she was an old lady, I guess, and she just was very apologetic and said she could mail this back. She didn't know where the cord was. I just said, just keep the freaking manual. I don't want it, so leave me alone. She was nice, but it was still kind of annoying. So I just relisted it for parts. You know, I'll probably get 20 or 25 for it, and then I'll just keep all the cords for another lot. So, same with this. This also sold Thanksgiving, and it was returned, but it was returned because the owner didn't install it right. It's a shower head. She said, "Oh, it wouldn't fit mine. It's because the threading stripped inside," and she sent it back. Well, the whole thing is jacked up, and the inside it was a brand new piece from a brand new box that I had parted out. And what happened was, is she must not have installed it right. Then she clamped pliers onto the end and tried to twist it on to tighten it, and then she damaged the whole outside and damaged the inside, and then she still ran it and was using it, but it was leaking a little bit, and then she wanted to send it back. So what I should have done was, she didn't ship it right out on the day she was supposed to. It was like 2 days later. I should have called eBay the next day that she didn't, had them close the case because she hadn't shipped it out, and I would have won, but I didn't do that. And then all of a sudden she messaged me and said, "Oh, I'm shipping," and I'm like, okay. I got it back and it was destroyed. So that's an open case with eBay. So we'll see what happens on that one. But I should have closed it out sooner. Paid $5, sold this 49ers jersey. It wasn't a good size. That was the problem. It would have been better if it was a bigger size. I don't know what I paid for this thing. Maybe $4 or $5. Sold it for 19. Pretty good. Finally sold Death Race. I had paid $2 from a pawn shop. This is an off-market Nintendo game. Sold that for $32. A Vital Wrap. This is just the one cord that goes with it. I paid $10 for the whole piece, and I've now parted it out. Got 17 just for this, so pretty much have started to make our money back. May have made it all back by now, and now we just have to sell the rest. Light strike gun, paid $1. Probably could have got 40, but the compartment where the batteries go, where you screw it in, the person has stripped out the inside of that where it screws in, so it won't screw in on one of the screws. One of them tightens down and holds the batteries in, but there is a back one that tightens in and it won't. So I listed that in the listing. It's still sold. Never heard anything bad about it. Nintendo Wii Sports, had this for 50 cents, sold it for 10. I bought a Scrabble Deluxe Diamond Edition and paid $3. The whole unit itself sells for like 25. I ended up just selling just the tiles for 16, so I threw the rest away. No point to sell with what it weighed to sell it for that. Network adapter, I always sell these. You get $13. They sell pretty easy. It was on the back of a PS2, so you just unscrew it in, and it always sells for, I should say, 11 to 13 bucks. So pretty good. A Good News Bible I picked up, paid $1, sold for 12. Another Bible, American Standard. This one I only paid 50 cents for. It had a name on the front. It also had some wear on the sides, on the tabs, and it sold for $28. Someone offered me, so that was cool. A rubber bar mat. These are the last few I have left. I think I have one more after this. Sold that for 12. It's not really making me much at this point. I only make a few dollars. The first couple that I had of a different, I had like smeared off, and I had a couple of other ones I forgot who I had, but they ended up selling really well for like $25–30, and these last ones are not selling. They're selling for $12. So I ship them out in a padded flat rate. I probably make a couple bucks on them, just trying to get rid of them. One Tree Hill, I paid $6 for these, sold them for $30, so that was good. This is that lot of books I bought. The lady only charged me 50 cents for. I think I gave her $1 though to make her feel better, I guess. But I ended up putting those in a lot and putting just military and war paperback lot, and they sold for 25 bucks, so that was cool. Vikings little horn here, paid $6, I think, 6 or 7, sold that for 30. It was super light, so shipping was easy. Sold my Harry Potter ornaments. I paid 5 a piece, so 15, got 50 for those. Sold silver, sold that for 48. Rice cooker, another cool sale I had this month. Paid 5. It was like a Japanese model. I ended up selling it for $70 to someone in Las Vegas, and it was cool because that's pretty close to me, so shipping was very affordable. More books from a church that was closing down their school. I bought those and sold them for 25. Vigilante 8 PlayStation game, paid 50 cents for this, ended up selling that for 13. And lastly, Trivial Pursuit. Trivial Pursuit replacement cards, the Genius ones. These ones are the ones that seem to be the best, I think. But you really can't make a whole lot. I had paid $1 for the game, and these end up shipping in a padded flat rate. So you make like $3 on them. So I wouldn't buy them all the time, but if I acquired a bunch of games for super cheap or they're 50 cents or something, I might buy them just because you can sell the replacement cards. I did get good feedback. She loved them for her. I guess her cards were kind of getting worn out, so she was happy to replace them with the new ones that weren't that bad condition. So that's everything, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Wish I would have done it sooner, so we're not already almost through December, or at least most of the way. I have a haul video coming up from a couple weeks of stuff that I've had, so hopefully you'll enjoy that. Hope you guys are doing well. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know if you guys are doing well out there, what you're finding. I always appreciate hearing that. And have a great Merry Christmas. Take care. Bye-bye.